One of the great things about being a backbencher, and there are disadvantages as well as advantages, is I don't have to ask anybody when I come on your programme or anybody else's programme. The price you pay for being on the front bench is basically you have to toe pretty exactly the shadow cabinet's line on policy and when you speak as opposed to somebody else speaking. If what Keir says is right, and I have no reason to disbelieve him, then Sam has gone beyond those guidelines, and that is a sacking offence. You'd have to ask Sam why he chose, when those are the rules, to get himself sacked.
In saying that, what would you say to people who feel that Keir Starmer somewhat became Labour leader, promising to stick by a relatively Corbynista agenda, got into power or got into the leadership and has abandoned that on things like the nationalisation of the railways, and those people feel conned almost by his leadership?
I feel very disappointed by that change in policy, and I think I certainly, as a Labour MP, will try to change that back. The Labour Party is and should be in favour of public ownership. I can see that it is very expensive to bring back into public ownership, say, the water companies, which I would very much like to. The thing about the railways is Network Rail is already in public ownership, and the train operating companies operate on a franchise. So it's very relatively inexpensive, in fact, it'd probably save money, to bring the whole of the rail system back into public ownership. So I think we should continue to pursue that policy. And I think it's been a mistake to cover the railways in what looks like a blanket shadow treasury operation to say we can't afford it. We can afford it.
And also at the same time, Graham, also, isn't it a little odd for the Labour Party, a party who's founded on trade unions, not to stick up for rail workers? Surely if MPs or indeed frontbenchers want to join the picket lines, they should be allowed to. That's the point of the Labour Party, isn't it?
I certainly support the rail workers in trying to protect their living standards in terms of conditions.
What I'm trying to get at, though, isn't Keir Starmer out of step in all of this? This is what I'm trying to ultimately get at.
What he's doing, and I think people understand this, Keir Starmer wants to be the next government, and I want him to be the next Prime Minister, and I want the shadow cabinet to become the cabinet. If you imagine a strike, as there are strikes against Labour governments as well as Conservative governments, and you are the authority owning a large percentage or all of the railways, then it would be a very strange decision for a minister as opposed to a shadow minister to go on a picket line. So supporting verbally without the visuals of being on the picket line, I understand where Keir's coming from. But Labour MPs are always going to join workers who are fighting for their rights and pay, whether it's on picket lines or rallies or wherever.